Hi everybody, this is the first time I've ever gone live on YouTube. It's so exciting. And of course I'm talking about my favorite subject here, which is of course plants. Yes, you're on Kentucky Garden Girl, my YouTube channel I've had for about a year now, a little over that. And it has been somewhat of a slow slog to get that subscriber count up. So if you can subscribe, like, definitely feel free to chat here in the live. Ask me any questions that you have because I'm just kind of going, off script here, doing what I used to do on the news. I'm sure a lot of you used to watch me here in Cincinnati when I was doing some traffic, some news, and I would, cut in between my traffic hits and things and just talk to viewers about, what was going on in the world and just kind of talk off the cuff. And I felt like I really got a lot of interest in that and a lot of people wanting to, just kind of play along with that. So that was a good time. That's something I do miss, about my TV days. But this is the time of morning. If you know anything about me at all in life after TV, this is my prime premiere time of day because I would say it's after the second cup of coffee hits, and so I am highly caffeinated, highly motivated, and just feeling pretty chatty. So you may be able to notice right here beside me I've got some plants. I've got a little assortment going on. So this one I always get the name wrong. Of course it's escaping me right now. It's not a magnolia. I don't know why I always want to say that. It's the one that smells so good with the white flowers. It's evergreen. And it is questionable whether or not here in our zone 6B, this will survive the winter. It likes humidity. It likes the more southern growing zones. What is this thing called? It's what a lot of perfumes are made of. If you know, please let me know. Please tell me in the comments what this thing is. Because of course the name is not with me right now. But that's why it's so good to keep your tags when you do buy a plant at the nursery, which this is one that I bought from the nursery. This is another one that I actually ordered online. Now this is called the Biltmore Blue. It is from the Japanese maple guys, right? Mr. Maple online. And I think this thing is gorgeous. I guess it'd be considered what a dwarf conifer, I believe. I'm just getting a prompt on my phone about the Wi-Fi. Use cellular data, I think. All right, there we go. So if I look a little confused looking up at you, it's not you, it's some prompt I'm getting on the screen, on the phone. But anyway, this is from the Biltmore estate, apparently. That's where this beautiful dwarf pine comes from. And so we've got a couple little cones on here that are starting to form. Biltmore Blue, Pinus strobus, dwarf white pine tree. So it's a white pine, and it has really loved its life here. I've just been, making sure I water it well because it is still in that container. I've got a lot of plants right now still in containers. I got a bunch of Japanese maples I'll show you here in a second. One of those, I have had some issues with giving it the right conditions that it needs. I think it had way too much late afternoon sun. So I've had to, change things around. That's why I haven't put any of the Japanese maples in the ground yet. Even though I desperately wanted to when I first received those. I didn't put them in the ground because I knew that they are pretty fickle about what they like. They don't like too much sun, but they need sun in order to get red if they are, the red variety. And the lace leaf maples are very slow growers compared to my bloodgood Japanese maple, which I'll show you here later. And some of the flowers that I'm loving in terms of late summer blooms, because I know a lot of us, our gardens are looking spent, but these asters have been really, really fun. I put those in a window box. They're not particularly large. Now, the ones that I have in my window box, I'll show you, they are very tall. So I'm hoping that by putting them up high and the fact that they get so tall, I'm hoping that I can attract some hummingbirds. I have seen one hummingbird. I haven't been able to get that on video or on camera because it's very elusive. I think it's a little shy hummingbird. And I have seen what I believe to be are some monarchs. I think I have seen those. I have not been able to capture those also. That is just a matter of pure luck, I think, if you're actually able to get that. And of course, I've seen a lot of AI images which look, you know, pretty realistic, but you know, there are AI images out there that are fake. So I'm sure you know that if you're part of any of the gardening Facebook groups or gardening channels. What coffee is this? Oh, so this is from Costco. This is the, what is the brand? I think it's the Kirkland brand. It's really good. It's like a darker roast. I just, you know, kind of have my favorites and I stick with them, and that's one of them. Let's see, what else we have going on? So currently I am working on putting together a video about seed collection from some of my favorite flowers. In this little mesh bag here, I have some zinnia, which is dried out, ballerina zinnia from Johnny's Select Seeds. You want to wait till those blooms are really raggedy looking, to be honest. That's when you know that they have the blooms have set seed, and it is time to dry these out. You can hang these upside down in a bag like this if you'd like, or a plastic Ziploc bag, and then just go through and you painstakingly, no, I mean, it doesn't take that long, but you go through and you try to separate the seeds from the dried petals, which this is an example of before. If you haven't separated them, the darker color are the seeds, and the lighter color, I believe, are the you know, the dried up flower bits. So if you can, try to filter those out. And the seeds of the zinnia, they're pretty easy to identify and to distinguish. They are, here, let's see, I've got a perfect one right here. This is the shape, if you can see. So they're on the darker side. I'd say they're, you know, they're not terribly small. I've definitely seen smaller, which I will show you here in a sec. But I love to collect the zinnia seeds. Now, I've never done this. I've never actually harvested seeds to start in the winter and direct sow in the spring. So we'll see how this goes. It's kind of like a lot of things in my life right now. It's a little bit of an experiment. Here is some yarrow seeds. Good morning. Good morning, S. Smallwood. Hello. Thank you for joining. These are the yarrow seeds, which I actually had to Google this because I was like, these are so teeny tiny. It's almost, it reminds me of sawdust. And these were kind of challenging, I thought. That this yarrow is native to our area. It is the moonshine, I believe, not moonshine. Moonshine. I have not been drinking that, right? It is Moon Glow or something with moon in the title. Anyway, so I picked it up at a plant sale. This one is actually coming up in September, the same one that I picked up the yarrow from last fall. It is at Ammon Nursery on September 20th. 15% of proceeds go to the Boone County Arboretum, and this is at Ammon Nursery in Burlington, Kentucky. I highly suggest hitting up the fall plant sales because you can find native plants which are really resilient in our area. They don't require, as far as my experience, they don't require a ton of, you know, TLC. I mean, a little bit initially when you plant them, of course, the first week or so, but after that point, they can really stand on their own and establish well if you plant them at the right time of year. It's all about timing when it comes to getting, you know, your trees in the ground, especially. You want to do that in those transitional season months like the fall or the spring. This is some purple coneflower. We're 11 minutes in. Some of my people have dropped, so all right, I'm going to continue with this because I feel this is the first time I've done this, but I feel like I can archive this and maybe repost it or something, and then just give me your comments in the comments section if I post this after the fact. So just think of this as like one of my regular videos. Let's see here. We've got Beauty That Lasts at 9 a.m. Spring Grove's top performing trees and shrubs. If you've never been to the Spring Grove Cemetery up in Ohio and Cincinnati, it is amazing. And some of the horticulture experts there are world renowned. They are just, you know, the real deal. They know their stuff. I have gotten some chances to speak with a couple of the folks there, even though I've only been working, uh, in this line of work here since midsummer, right? But this will be a fascinating conversation with Brian Hines. He's the horticulture director there. Then an hour after that, we've got forest pests of the Great Lakes region, beech leaf disease, and hemlock woolly algulid. I should know how to pronounce this right. Maris Hollowell and Brianna Shepard. They're with the Holden Arboretum's Long Science Center. And then we'll have a break, and then we'll come back for Plant Nomenclature 101. That will be really useful. A break for lunch. Food's going to be excellent, I've heard. And then later in the afternoon, we have got native woody ornamentals for resilient future urban landscapes. That is a particular conversation that I'm looking forward to because I love native plants. That's with Adam Black, the director of horticulture and plant conservation with Bartlett Tree Research. We've also got Bellengrath Gardens and Home, bringing a historic garden forward. And then later in the afternoon, we've got tree health in the Ohio Valley. They're going to be talking about nematodes, fungi, and herbicides to watch in 2025. And then our last featured speaker is going to be discussing Thriving in the Shade, a guide to gardening under trees, which I'm especially interested in hearing because as you can see here, we're under some pine trees. I've got a ton of pine needles on the ground. And normally they say, hello, hi. Normally they say it is hard to grow in an area like this with dappled shade from something like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pines. So I have not found the weeds to have any trouble growing here because as I look at the ground, there are a lot of them that I haven't gotten to yet. I think it was many, many videos ago that I mentioned I would be pulling weeds, and I've still yet to get around to that. So a lot of the weeds, though, they're happy, they're home here, they're native, right? So we will keep them, and we'll continue to let the bunny rabbits feast on those, their little salad bar. But I wanted to let you guys know about the Woody Plants and Landscape Symposium in addition to the Fall Plant Sale in September. So you've got a big event in September, big event in October. If you want to know more information about that, including a bunch of other stuff throughout the year, ways you can volunteer, ways you can